The Supreme Court of Nigeria has fixed March 3 for judgment in consolidated suits by 16 states challenging the implementation of the new currency policy introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Trust TV reports that the Plaintiffs' Counsel asked the Apex Court not to hear the Attorney General of the Federation for contempt of the court's previous order on the matter. Take a look.
At resumed hearing on Wednesday, the Apex Court granted motion on joinder by additional states wanting to join as plaintiffs, bringing the total number to 16. Counsels to both parties make oral arguments for and against their positions before the court, with the Plaintiff Counsel alleging constitutional breach and unilateral decision by the President and asking the court to set aside his recent directive on the policy.
It is mandatory on the President to sit with the National Federal Executive Council for them to discuss the issue and agree on it. It is mandatory on the President, since this is an economic issue, to seek the approval of National Economic Council, which the Governor of Kano State is a member of. And the Governor of Kano State said that that issue was never tabled before the National Economic Council.
The President has powers, but that power must be exercised judicially and judiciously. Judicially, the President has exercised that power because he has given the directive to the CBN Governor. But judiciously, has the time frame been reasonable in the context of the provision of 23? It is the contention of the plaintiffs that the time frame given is not reasonable enough, and to that extent, that policy is working hardship on the plaintiffs.
The important thing is that pending the third, when it will deliver its judgment, the interim order of the Supreme Court is still in place, and that is that the old 500 naira, 200 naira, and 1,000 naira notes are still legal tender. That is the order of the Supreme Court.
Responding to the plaintiff's argument on points of law, lead defense counsel Kanu Agabi SAN raised question of jurisdiction and overriding national interest for the implementation of the currency swap policy, pointing that the presidential directive on the matter is consistent with the earlier Supreme Court order.
The president will do nothing to undermine the powers and jurisdiction of this court. We are all working at trying to salvage a difficult situation. That's where we are. The Supreme Court is trying to do that. The President is trying to do that. It's one nation, one people. We are looking for solutions. Please, those who have this naira in their hands should submit them to the CBN or any banks designated for that purpose. Nobody will lose his money if you try to comply.
The Supreme Court, which rose twice to allow parties harmonize their process, fixed 3rd of March 2023 for judgment. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And in a bit to ensure a peaceful, free, fair and credible presidential election on Saturday, the presidential candidates participated in a peace accord signing ceremony in Abuja on Wednesday. The presidential peace accord signing ceremony took place at the International Conference Center, Abuja, with the presence of President Muhammadu Buhari, ex-President Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, and Thabo Mbeki of South Africa. The presidential candidates who attended the event included Adeole Adebayo of the Social Democratic Party, Omoyele Sowore of the African Action Congress, Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Rabiu Konkoso of the New Nigeria People's Party, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, among others. During the ceremony, the presidential candidates were urged to sign the accord in good faith and to abide by its provisions. The accord seeks to promote peaceful elections and to prevent violence and chaos during the electoral process. And the National Security Council has confirmed that the Presidential and National Assembly elections slated for Saturday, February 25, will proceed as scheduled. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and the Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kali Baba briefed State House reporters on the outcome of the Council's first meeting of 2023 at the Council chambers of the State House, Abuja. Malami stated that the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief General Loki Irabo, the 3 service chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, and the heads of other security agencies fully briefed the Council on their readiness to provide the necessary security support for the upcoming election. Consequently, the Council issued a directive that the February 25th election must proceed as planned. On tonight's program, we are joined by the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Prince Adeole Adebayo. Incidentally, he's also a lawyer. Welcome to the program, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
We're happy to have you in this studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the program, viewers. And as always, I'm your host, Hamza Idris. What are your thoughts about the case at the Supreme Court on the cash crunch? Let me hear from the barrister. Forget about the technicalities. You are a lawyer. But Nigerians are just confused.
Well, it's an unnecessary problem, caused at the wrong time, presented the wrong way, and the problems that follow got mismanaged, politicized, and now it's becoming something that is leading to litigation. And the litigation is already defeated. Because
okay, the litigation is defeated.
It's defeated because a lot of the hardship is already taking place. So whichever way the court decides, it cannot remove the inconvenience people have already suffered. And for those who are sensitive to it, because of elections will be over by the time Supreme Court gets to...
But Nigerians will not forget the difficulties.
They will not, but I hope that no more difficulties are added, because what happens to the job basically is that you are hit with one terrible situation, and then before you recover from that, another one hits you, you forgot the earlier one. So I hope that this election will bring about a responsible government. But what I can say, and this is the policy statement of the Social Democratic Party, nobody will lose their money.
If you get there.
Nobody.
Okay. Some people have started alleging that the Supreme Court and the executive, they are in bed. I don't know. I don't want to be arrested for contempt. Please use the local language to explain this, because it is assumed that this issue should have been dispensed at the first instance.
No, the matter should not have even gone to the Supreme Court at all. It's just the irresponsibility of the government, the irresponsibility of the ruling party, APC. Because if you look at the case, the states that are going to court, their governors are members of the National Executive Council of the APC. Now, APC is the government, is at the center. APC, the majority of the governors going to court. So, and immediately they leave court, they will just join together again and climb a podium and be campaigning together.
Are they deceiving Nigerians?
No, they are deceiving themselves, and they are being unfair.
Not Nigerians.
No, they are deceiving themselves because they want to use the central bank and the rest of us as pawns in their own internal fight. But a lot of people are suffering, real life suffering. You don't need to be told. Nobody knows the street more than the journalists. You know that everyone in Nigeria is suffering. The reason why there is even a polarity of opinion is that some people wrongly assume that the cashless or the confiscation of the NAIRA notes would aid their own political party. So people are buying illusory estate.
So you think the other political parties, for instance, PDP and Labour Party, they are actually, to some extent, backing what is happening? I don't know. Is your party also supporting this?
No, we can't support anything that brings
But why do you think they are supporting?
Well, I don't know. You see, some of them, politics is a desperate game for some people.
Yeah.
So they are thinking is that if something hurts, is supposed to hurt my opponent, that means
it will be again.
It is good for me. In the end, election will be over. They will realize that they've fallen victim of delusion, and it won't help anybody in any way.
But are Nigerians so gullible to accept this gimmick?
No, you see, Nigerians are patient with their government. You see, this country is enormously full of goodwill. Nigerian people want Nigeria to succeed. They want the government to succeed. Whatever inconvenience the government brings to them, somehow they will find a way to accommodate it, to assume that there must be a noble purpose behind it.
Okay.
But this is just, to my mind, with due respect, it's an irresponsible approach to currency change. It's also even an ineffective approach to fight money laundering. It's a comical approach to fight vote buying. So none of this has a policy content or policy direction. This is just a knee-jerk exercise done by people who don't have a long-term frame and they don't have a periscopic view.
Does that mean Buhari was not really advised on taking this decision?
No, you know, President Buhari is a victim of circumstances. I don't think the job that he's doing now, at the time he's doing it, he's supposed to be doing it. Maybe he's past his prime, maybe the work is overwhelming, maybe he has a narrow angle in looking at complex issues. So there are some people like that, they peep through the keyhole and they think they know everything on the other side of the bed, or of the door. So I think it's a policy error. What I can do at this point is not to pillory the government further and further, is to find a way by which Nigerians can not allow this to affect how they vote in the election, vote according to their conscience, let the new government come in. When all this frenzy, for example, when the election is over, many of the politicians, political parties that are selfishly backing it now in the illusionary hope that it's going to help them in the election, when it doesn't help them and they lose and come out properly breathing, then they will now look at the issue now from a rational point of view. That's what I suspect.
If I understand what you are saying, and I hope the president is watching or those close to him are watching, because it's like he's living in a phantom world. Because today, at an event to receive donation from the business community, he said he's been envied all over the world. Even though not in this context, he was saying nowhere in the world that the private sector came together and, you know, pool resources to support the government. He is doing this, and at every point in time, he says that he has given his best and he will be remembered for that. Do you agree?
He has given his best. That is true. If you look at President Buhari, he's an honest man who tries to give his best. Unfortunately, he's not competent for the job. It's not that he's not trying to be competent.
He's not competent for the job.
He's not competent for the job. He was brought in as a conspiracy to defeat PDP. And he has popular appeal and they brought him in. And they're not assisting him well, because the tendency is that people work for you. When they see your weakness, instead of to help you block it, they will exploit it. So, but he's leaving now, so I should be giving him kinder words as he's departing. But the key issue is that he will find out later that nobody in the world is envying him, that he has ruined the economy of his country.
Oh my God.
He has left the Talakawas, on whose shoulders he rose to power. He's left them penniless, left them without recourse. He's left them schizophrenic with all kinds of traumas upon trauma, from COVID to economic downturn, to recession, to insecurity, now to this NAIRA debacle. So he doesn't know yet. And if you tell him now, because he's still in the metro prison that they are putting.
Villa is metro prison.
Yes.
But you want to go there?
No, because you know already that when you are in the villa, you are not supposed to bring in all kinds of dangerous people around you. But some people don't understand it. Because they ride on the shoulder of these people to get him. But the long and short of it is that he has given 8 years almost, and is a very simple man who tries his best. But he's the president at the wrong time. Maybe he should have been president 40 years ago.
He was.
Yeah, so he is more like the Bourbons. What they say about the Bourbons in France. They learned nothing, they forgot nothing. Doesn't matter how many years pass by. But you should give him credit that he shows up for the job, he's trying his best, but that best is not near 1/3 of being good enough.
Okay, let's move to the peace accord. What message did you come back with?
I came back with the fact that, one, the organizers are trying to paper over reality. They genuinely wish that there should be peace.
How so? How so?
You see, peace is a product of justice.
Mm.
So I'm always naturally suspicious of people who search for peace at all costs. They are trying to cheat people somewhere.
Is it the organizers that are trying to cheat?
No, the organizers
or
are
the participants.
The participants, but the organizers are trying not to ask difficult questions. They try to put a show. So if you look at General Salami Abubakar, whose name means peace, servant of the peace. If you look at Bishop Kuka, if you look at the eminences that are on it, these are people who are stakeholders in peace.
So is it difficult to look for peace in a tortuous manner?
It is difficult to look for peace where you want to avoid justice. And I think that it is much easier to search for justice and peace will come. Okay. So the whole idea, the whole thing, we were there, we signed, I have kept faith, but APC hasn't kept faith. PDP hasn't kept faith.
How do you know?
Because even the organizer read all their violations. They are abusing each other, lying, calling each other names. For example, APC and PDP have degenerated to a point where in the last several days, they keep lying that I'm supporting them, my party is supporting them. All these are lies that are against the clause.
Yes, and we will actually go to
it says that you must not put fake news. Yesterday, I was to do a rally in Oyo State. Governor Makinde of PDP came there and blocked the place. And the commissioner of police was taken to us that the governor is wrong, but you know it's the governor. I don't want violence. Even though we chose a different date, it was the government that gave us this date. We now came. They made sure that all our people assembled before they said, now we cannot use Mapo Hall. So all sorts of misbehavior like that. People being beaten on the road. The APC, for example, is a very, with due respect, thuggish party. They went to our campaigners, started beating them up. So all sorts of things happening. And the Labour Party, they are just liars. They just lie everywhere. So they are full of fake news.
You're all calling them out.
No, what I'm saying is that I'm just telling you that if it doesn't mean that they are bad people.
Yeah.
Permanently.
But they are not doing the right thing.
They are using bad tactics.
Okay.
And if you are not able to sanction, for example, you are not supposed to campaign in religious places. The Labour Party, they've almost turned the whole thing to a religious thing. They go to churches and campaign there. I go to churches, I go to the mosque, but I moderate my language to talk something that is uniform without campaigning. All of them have acceded. They have acceded, APC, PDP, Labour, they've exceeded the campaign limit, obviously. So when you see all of that, then they are calling each other wrong names, they are doing sorts of things. So there is no sanction. But
okay, now it's no sanction because I want us to also talk on other things. Do you think this peace accord thing should be institutionalized because it doesn't have legal backing now? So that people will be sanctioned and all that. The only advice you can see, and when you come out of the hall, you commit the same?
There are enough sanctions in the book. So people should be taken to the police station, should not be taken to the peace accord signing ceremony. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because if these offenses contravene statutory violations, contravene statutory provisions, statutory crimes, you should punish them.
All right. Now let's move to the National Security Council meeting. You have heard what they said. Elections must go on. Are you satisfied with that? And has this dispelled all the insinuations around not holding the elections and all?
We are happy that the election is to be held. You know, we are not new in this country. Every election season, there's always these last-minute dramas that take place. It's just like we don't want to learn every time. We need to mature. I felt ashamed today at the hall, at the Peace Committee Hall, where I've seen the President of Kenya, former President of Kenya, Zambia, giant of Africa, for God's sake. So how can you put yourself in a situation where you're like a banana republic, that people come and tell your
people to sign
peace accord?
So instead of being happy with that, we actually should bury our heads.
Yes, because we are the leader of Africa. We are a superpower. We should be the one advising, keeping the peace.
Instead of bringing empires from somewhere,
yes,
so that maybe their presence will.
What does that mean? So what is it? Just with due respect, I like the notion, but I feel ashamed that Nigeria finds herself at this time in a situation where we're just like any other country.
Okay, now let's go to your aspiration. Why are you still in the rest?
Yeah, because I want the job. I want to solve the problem. I want to eradicate poverty and insecurity. I want to get Nigerians to enjoy the provisions of Chapter 2 of the Constitution, fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policy. I want us to be able to use our resources accountably for our people so that we eradicate people being hungry.
When you visited the Emir of Life here,
yes.
I think last week or thereabout, you said 99% of Nigerians don't have up to 100,000 in their pockets, in their bank accounts, right?
Yes.
How do you arrive at that figure?
It's just statistics from Bureau of Statistics, from the banking sector, from everywhere. It's a fact. It's a fact that 1%.
99%?
Yes, 1%. Yes, not 9%. 1%.
They don't have up to 100,000 in their bank accounts.
They can't smell it. You know, you've been milling with the rich for a long time, so you've lost.
No, I'm a journalist. I don't have money.
Yes, yes, but you have people around who have a lot of money, and you are part of the 1% because I know very well you look like someone who has a lot of money in the bank. So, but the common people.
But honestly, I was really shocked when I heard that. That's why I said, let me ask you, because we need to fact check this.
Yeah, just go to CBN if they stay open, if they're not shutting their door against NAIRA people. You go to CBN, go to Bureau of Statistics, go to any other indicators. This is a fact. But the tragedy of that is not that they don't have the money. That's the only tragedy. Is that they are in the wilderness. So if you are in Britain and you don't have more than £10,000 or £100 in your account, no problem, because you will still have access to electricity, good roads. If you have a medical emergency, an ambulance will come. These days I'm learning.
Yeah, but we don't have all those things.
You don't have any of this. You don't have any support. So to be without money, and that's why I looked at President Buhari and asked him, are you the same person who was riding on the shoulder of the Talakawas? Don't you understand that these people don't have money? These people were buying recharge cards and paying money for your campaign. You've forgotten. You are milling with the big guys. You've now forgotten that some people cannot buy Jero, they cannot buy Dawa, they cannot buy anything, and now you seize their money because you want to solve one academic problem.
You will solve this problem
yes.
based on your manifesto, but you have to get to the villa first.
Yes.
But the Obas in the southwest, where you come from, yes. even though you always say you are a Nigerian, they have endorsed Tinubu. So where do you stand?
First and foremost,
they met in Ibadan, led by the Oni of Ife. They all said, for fairness, we should all go for Tinubu.
Well, you know, let me say something clearly. I'm from a royal house, so I have respect for the institutions. But the institutions, I'm well trained in it, more than many of these people who are now traditional rulers. Well trained. I've had over 1,000 years of being in my lineage. The job of traditional rulers is not to choose politicians.
So they were wrong in that aspect.
I think, I haven't heard them say it. Maybe it's just a
it's there. It's there.
But if they actually said it, it's a problem. They're not.
They said they converge from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, up to Kwara.
They are not representing the institution that their office. Maybe they are just some. These days, people hire people. Maybe they are just.
But the Oni was there. Who will hire the Oni of Ife?
Well, the Oni, all I can say with due respect is that sometimes the office is great. Sometimes the occupant is great. So sometimes when the occupant is not great, you use the office to show up. So you have to balance. So sometimes you respect the institution, even if there are charlatanistic behavior on the part of the incumbent. You still have to respect the office. And that is why an institution like the ONI position, other traditional positions, we respect the office. Sometimes the incumbent is not worth it. But you still respect the office because you have a duty to uphold that institution. That institution is greater than the character that is sitting on top of it. Otherwise, properly speaking, a well-schooled traditional ruler in Yoruba land will not say a word about the endorsement of a politician. They've learned that lessons since the First Republic. It's a no-go area. And when you visit them, they will tell you, you are all my children. It doesn't matter where you come from in this country, you are the same. They are not going to get involved in political language, especially rascally political language like it's somebody's turn or somebody's turn. No. If a man comes from Sokoto or from Maiduguri, if he goes to Ife seeking the office of president, he's a son of the Oni of Ife.
Okay.
And the Oni of Ife has no business to say, this person is closer to me than the other. If I go to Sokoto to seek the blessings of the Sultan of Sokoto, he has to treat me as his subject, as his son, as a Nigerian. He shouldn't get involved in the story of the turn of this place. So those who did that, actually they've betrayed the trust that the public have. In any case, it's not as if they are that relevant to the subject. They don't determine who votes.
So you will remain in the contest?
No, they were not in my contemplation. When I was running for office. They're not my problem. My issue is that I am in the contest to represent the Social Democratic Party. Our manifesto is different. If you listen to, I'm sure you have listened to everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying what we are saying.
I have read all the manifestos.
Yeah, so ours is different, it's distinct. We're not saying the same thing as them. We're on the ballot. People who believe in the social contract, who believe in Chapter 2 of the Constitution, who believe in farewell to poverty and insecurity, have only us to consider. Those who believe in tribalism, religion, other things, they can consider those other options. But we are trying to make those who believe that Nigeria belongs to all Nigerians, regardless of ethnicity and religion, and that the people of Nigeria are entitled to enjoy the benefit of the wealth of Nigeria, and that a government well put together, the type that Aminu Kano will have put there, the type Amiko Abela came to canvass for, that type of government is what we need now. Okay. We are trying to get them into becoming majority. If they become majority, the Social Democratic Party will win and I will be the president. Okay. But if those people are not in majority, then the journey continues. Okay, we have no time, but I want to ask you this, and I want you to answer it briefly. How are you coping with defection from your party? The whole structure of SDP in the Northeast has collapsed into PDP. The leadership of the party in Lagos, they have moved to PDP. Excuse me, it's an unfortunate thing that is coming from a reporter. Before you sit down, you're supposed to be a reporter. First, it's all lies. Before you go on air, and that is the tragedy of Nigerian press. Okay. Any charlatan can put anything in the air. Even if they mention my name, the media will not first ask me, is it true? First, nobody, not even a local government chairman of our party, not even a ward secretary, has left the party. And that is why, we brought you here, because the national chairman of the party, Judgement, he led people to see filtering in his office. With due respect, yes. National chairman of my party is Shehu Musa Gabam. No, I know. I'm talking about the state chairman. The Northeast. You don't know him? No, the North. Judgement Chike? It doesn't exist. The national, listen, I'm telling you. This is strange because we're just hearing this because he's there in the portal of your party. His name is there as the zonal chairman of the party. Listen, let us be honest people, especially if you are serving the public. And that is why you are here. Yes, but hear from your own side. Yeah. Basic information you want to know. Yeah. One, the PDP in Adamawa State is very jittery. They have a terribly underperforming governor there. Okay. They have a highly alienated presidential candidate who is not loved by his people. You're talking about Atiku. He doesn't love his people. He doesn't stay there. You're talking about Fintiri. Yes. So he is. You think your candidate, Dr. Omar Ardo, will defeat Fintiri? Is far ahead of them. And I want to let you know that the relatives of Vice President Atiku Abubakar are more to be found in Dubai than in Adamawa. So if he wants to do well, he should run for office in Dubai. Because when you go to Adamawa State, people don't appreciate what he's doing. Okay. But it's his own problem. My job is not to campaign against him. Where I find very dishonest is that after making overtures, countless overtures to the SDP, you go and fake a charade somewhere. If you want to be president, you have to be an honest person. And it's not only him that. So if I get you, because there is what happened in Yola is a charade. It's a charade, of course. Thank you very much. All right. I believe he must be scam. Either he's part of the scam, or he's scammed by his own staff because they have a budget for converting people. The same thing is happening to APC. And they're in labor. I wish we have more time. It's also trying to join that fake news component. You are clear. Thank you very much. We are running to the end, and people should vote for Adebayo for coming to the program, and we appreciate your contribution, and you have cleared the air, and I'm sure the all have had you. Thank you very much. Clearly. Thank you. Yes. Viewers, we will go on a short break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Please don't go away.
It done the come. Population and housing census. It done the come. Oh yeah, everybody get ready well.
On the 29th of March to the 2nd of April 2023,
the National Population Commission will be conducting a comprehensive population and housing census to generate reliable, sustainable, and up-to-date data needed for policy formulation, security, national planning, and development.
Population and housing census, it go make life better, eh? Because na him our government go dey use.
National Population and Housing Census 2023. It's your civic responsibility. Please support it.
Accept them, support them.
The 2023 Population and Housing Census is being conducted by the National Population Commission, NPC. Personal data assistants, PDAs, will be deployed countrywide for the census exercise. Everything will be done digitally.
Census on the come for April 2023.
Nigeria's 2023 Population and Housing Census.
On the 29th of March to the 2nd of April 2023.
You count.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Haruna, Bisi, Akman, Unduka, how will I want to do on election day?
On election day, I go take my PVC. When I reach where I vote to, I broom I go put my hand over Tinubu. On election day, I go take my PVC. When I reach where I vote to, I broom I go put my hand over Tinubu.
People of Nigeria, make we all come out on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as president. Make Nigeria for better. Make you put your hand for APC, the party where show broom. Not forget oh, now broom you go put your hand in. Bam!
On election day, I go take my PVC. When I reach where I vote to, I broom I go put my hand over Tinubu.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Really, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you are watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and watch us live on YouTube. And to other news, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, on Wednesday directed all its state councils, including affiliate unions, to vote for the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, in the forthcoming election bill to hold on Saturday. Elitros reports that the decision to pitch a tent with Obi came after resolutions reached by the Congress leadership at the end of the inaugural meeting of the newly elected National Administrative Council of the Congress on Monday. Part of the resolutions was that directive given to workers to come out en masse to perform their civic duties by voting in the forthcoming elections and taking decisive steps to safeguard their votes. We now have Mazi Dixon Namdi with us in the studio. He is an author and a member of Obedient Movement. He joins us to discuss issues around the Labour Party and its campaign. Mazi, welcome to our studio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How did you felt following the endorsement of your candidate today by the Nigeria Labour Congress?
It felt good. It felt very good, even though there will be more endorsements.
How do you mean? We have less than
we have Nigerians to decide on Saturday, and including the candidates. They are also Nigerians, first of all. So moments like this, especially as we're about to make this decision, every right-thinking Nigerian, irrespective of tribe, religion, political party affiliation, and all of that, would have considered who best fits in this job, who best fits. And that's why I am very excited that the labor, that is NLC, and all of them, the workforce of the Nigerian society, of the Nigerian government, knowing where they are coming from and where they are now, and knowing the capacity of these candidates, it will be right that they identify.
But do they really
candidate.
represent the thousands of labor members in Nigeria? Because we actually tried to reach out to some civil servants. Do they really endorse this? So I want to hear from you, because definitely we'll bring workers. We wanted to do that, but time not on our side. That's why we say, okay, let's bring you to hear whether really Nigerian workers across board endorse this endorsement.
First, I maintain that we're excited that this endorsement has come and that more will come. The civil servants, are they in support of the decision of their leaders? Of course, yes. Who is facing the current situation of Nigeria? It's
the poor man, the poor man who doesn't even have salary.
The average Nigerian on the street.
How many
the civil servant is part of the average Nigerian on the street. We are all facing the situation in Nigeria. Hunger knows no position you occupy. Insecurity knows no tribe or position you occupy. We're all here. We know the state of our country. So for goodness sake, there's no Nigerian today, north, south, that does not clearly appreciate what P2B, the hope that P2B's candidature or candidacy has brought to the table. Because we seem to have lost hope here, where lives are lost. Nigerians are slaughtered by the day, and nobody cares.
You think he's the hope? Because
he is the hope.
You are winning somewhere, as you said, but
yes.
you are losing in other places.
Where?
The structure of Labour Party in the Southwest collapsed into APC.
No, come on. We know what the APC and their group represent. Propaganda and every way of
those members are not your members?
Every way of the members of what?
Yes, the Labour Party leadership in the whole of Southwest last week defected to PDP.
The leadership of Labour Party has come out to clarify that, and of course discredited that position that went out there to the media. That's the same way they went to say, oh, that Afenifere had endorsed them and all of that. That's the same way they were able to bring fake bishops and said that bishops...
You mean they are imposters?
They are all imposters, of course, because the truth of the matter is that this APC, as we'll know today, thrives on propaganda and lies and deceit.
But I hope some people will not come out tomorrow and disown the NLC.
Sorry?
I say I hope some people will not come out tomorrow and disown this endorsement.
No, I don't know what do you mean some people? Is NLC factionalized? No. Why are we doing this to ourselves? The truth of the matter is that the institution that guides the labor force in Nigeria has taken a position, and rightly so. Who owns Labour Party? It is NLC. They're the owners. It's the workers in Nigeria that own Labour Party. So are you saying they will abandon their home, especially when they have the most competent candidate?
The candidate of the Labour Party in 2019. Why now? Is Peter Obi different?
But of course, where has Labour Party been all the while? 8 months, 9 months ago. For goodness sake, it's the Peter Obi's emergence that changed the narrative about Labour Party. Are you going to abandon your house now that is obviously looking very awesome and looking good? The hope is clear that the next president of Nigeria is going to be produced under Labour Party, and you want them to leave that? For who?
But how?
For people who have held them down, who have made promises and failed woefully?
There is this belief that the structure for him to get it to the villa is not there.
What is structure?
You don't have a single councillor in Nigeria now, do you?
I'm sorry?
Single councillor. Do you have a councillor?
Councillor?
Yeah, because you need the grassroots.
Is that the criteria?
Or local government chairman or member of House Assembly.
No, you see, first of all, like my principal would say, his structure are those 133 million Nigerians that are in not just poor situation, but that very qualification, that very qualification as we have. That is his structure. The structure he has at the candidate of Labour Party has are those students who were at home when ASU was on strike and all of that. Are they going to vote? Why wouldn't they vote? Have you seen the kind of?
See that many for the first time.
No. Did you see during the collation, the registration and collection of the PVC? Did you see the level of turnout from Nigerians? The hunger to get their that weapon of theirs to sack the people who have held this country to stupor all these years and all of that. The excitement that Peter Obi's candidacy brings, within the polity is obvious. And on Saturday, the Nigerian people will speak loud and would have taken back our country, because it appears that we allowed marauders, political marauders, take over our space. That's why they don't care. They don't have value for the human lives.
Isn't he one of them? When did he left PDP for Labour Party?
Okay.
Why are you distancing him from the larger hall?
No, let's go there. Peter Obi has held, he has been governor of a state in Nigeria, Anambra State. And he was there all through as a member of APGA.
Yeah.
And ensured also as a party man that APGA succeeded him, right? And then moved on, because at that moment, he had conceived the idea to bring the experience he has gathered at the level of governorship to the center and add to nation building. And then where will he go to? He came to PDP. And of course, while in PDP, you asked, let me answer the question. While in PDP, he got there to the level of being running mate to the candidate of PDP at that time.
Yes.
But beyond that, the PDP haven't failed to uphold its own constitution, haven't failed to reward loyalty, to uphold equity, justice, and fairness. And
you are talking about the zoning arrangement now?
I'm sorry?
Zoning arrangement?
But of course, it's enshrined in the constitution of the party. A party that couldn't uphold its own written constitution.
But many people
how
are actually saying we should jettison this issue of zoning and go for competence.
No. You see, if we are three here, or just the two of us, and they bring food, that has about 4 pieces of meat, and you take one, I want to take, you say, hold on. You take another one. I want to take, you say, hold on, and you take another one. Come on, where is the justice? Will there be peace?
But should that be the criteria instead of competence?
No, but of course, who is the most competent candidate today?
Why is he the most competent? On what ground?
By everything on the table. One, the capacity he comes with, character, consistency of character.
All these are actually relative terms, honestly.
How? The evidence of where he's coming from is in the public domain. While he was governor, is there any governor in Nigeria, past or present?
Atiku was former vice president, Tinubu was former governor.
You're not allowing me to make former governor. Yes, okay, but what are they bringing to the table?
Okay. What are they bringing to the table? Because some people have visited Anambra and they said it's actually not what it is meant to be believed.
What is Anambra? What is
internal generated revenue, the infrastructure and all that.
Excuse me, for goodness sake, we had a governor.
I'm just asking you.
No, I agree. We had a governor who led the state, and after leading, of course, he made the state in chaos. He made the state in ruins, and of course, contributed massively to turning everything about that state around. And then, not just that, now had savings. No governor since 1999 has had savings. All they do is borrow, and borrow even beyond what is required and all of that. And we had someone here who managed prudently government resources and ensured that there was savings left behind for who was going to take over. And we don't plan in that direction, especially now that we are in a terrible state where Nigeria has borrowed itself out of existence. You are owing in one way or the other. I am owing in one way or the other, because the government of the day has borrowed everything possible that can be borrowed and all that. And so we need a government that will come understanding where we are today, that would know how to manage prudently, public resources, public property. Not one who is wasteful, not one who amongst his cronies and all of that, you cannot hold any to account. So by every means, looking at all the first three major contenders in this race, you cannot compare any of them to Peter Obi. You cannot.
Okay, now what are you
And Nigerians will speak loudly.
There is this fear that he is actually an ethnic junglist. I'm sorry to use this word, but you have
Which fear? Who is expressing the fear? Is it you or
no,
who?
Not me.
Who? No, let's have the people who are
the SDP presidential candidate who was here before you came
said
in.
What?
That he's actually a regional junglist,
He said what?
Peter Obi is actually representing a certain region, and he's
I listened to him. I didn't hear him say
that region.
I watched him. I didn't hear him say that. And if there's anything I've heard the SDP candidates say over and over again on television and every media outlet that I've seen him appear, is that
he also alleged that he campaigns in churches,
hold on, sir.
Christian communities, and all that.
There's no law that says you couldn't reach out to every Nigerian everywhere. You didn't also mention the fact that he went to IDPs. You didn't mention that when flood ravaged some parts of Nigeria, that he was the only one available to reach out to them. So he is reaching out to every Nigerian everywhere. Peter Obi has gone to as far as Mobi, the places where no presidential candidate has ever gone to in northern Nigeria. This candidate has gone there. Place unconventional kind of campaign. That is what Peter Obi is engaged in, because every Nigerian is important. What we need to do right now is look beyond all those parochial sentiments, those things that divides this country, that has not taken us anywhere. We need to look beyond it and now consider ways forward. What do we want for Nigeria? I'm a Christian, and my Bible tells me that a good father leaves inheritance for his children and his children's children. How come we have leaders today who all they care about is themselves, the immediate, the now, and they don't care about what to leave behind for Nigeria, for these younger ones who are actually propelling the presidency of Peter Obi? It is mostly by the young people, and their parents have come to accept and told them clearly, take back your land, take back your country, it belongs to you. So if these people don't mean well, should we sit back and watch them destroy our common patrimony? No.
All right, Mazi, I hope you understand that why I raise this issue. They are not my personal opinion or the opinion of this house.
Everything has been attempted.
Yeah.
They have plotted to call Peter Obi regional, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It didn't work. We had Afenifere, we had Middlebelt endorse him. In fact, at a stage, people now started saying, that's what we're saying, that Igbos are not even behind him and all of that. So everything possible has been attempted to malign the candidacy of Peter Obi, but he has failed.
Okay, so what are you doing now to ensure that the votes count? You know,
we're not leaving any stone unturned.
INEC issued a total number of polling agents and all that, and you are trailing far behind PDP.
Not trailing. See,
what is the plan? Yeah, what is the plan?
Of course, I won't come to a national television
because INEC said 1.5 million, right?
I'm sorry?
More than 1,574,000, agents that will be, at the polling units, and these are
400-something thousand.
Yeah, 1.5 million. 1.5 million
for each.
No. Across all the polling units. Yeah.
For all the candidates or for one candidate?
All the candidites.
Oh, great.
For all the candidates. Yeah, I have yours here. But you are trailing behind PDP, which has 176,000. You are trailing. Yours is 134. PDP has 176, APC has 176. So how are you going to manage?
First of all, nobody even believed that we could get one person. They didn't even give us a chance.
Okay.
They told us that, that this noise is 4 people. 4 people in a room tweeting and Facebooking. That's what they said. And today, that has become a miraculous achievement.
Validated by INEC.
I'm sorry?
I mean, validated by INEC.
You can see that if we could get, this is just how many months ago that Peter Obi got into this? My brother, a shocker awaits those who are doubting what is about to happen. Nigeria is not a conquered territory. This is a great nation, and we deserve better than what we have been having. And this movement on Saturday, the Nigerian people will announce that enough is enough. They will take back their country, and then we'll commence the journey towards nationhood. Because enough of this backwardness, enough of this lackluster kind of leadership that we have seen both from the PD, APC, and all, because it's the same party. They are the same. They are the same. They are the same. And they have held us down. We have had enough. And that statement that will be made on Saturday will be very resounding. Trust me.
Thank you very much, Mazi, for coming to the program and for clearing most of the
Thank you very
areas.
much. And Peter Obi salutes you and salutes all Nigerians.
All right. We have to see you again after the election.
We will be celebrating by the grace of God.
And that's a wrap on today's program. Viewers, please make a commitment to vote in the forthcoming election to guarantee a better future for all of us. Thanks for watching, and do join us again. I'm Hamza Idris.